Welcome back to FM Storey. We're approaching the midway point of Season 7 with Sporting. We didn't have the best of starts in the league this season. We are starting to clawing our way back up the league table. We are currently sat in second position behind Benfica. They haven't lost a game yet this season, and we lost to them earlier on in the season, and we've drawn a game more than them, which is the big difference so far between where we are and where they are. We have managed to knock them out of the Taca de Portugal though, and we're doing relatively well in the Champions League. We have, by and large, got most of our difficult fixtures out of the way in terms of the Champions League. To the games I think we've got left are Milan, Red Star and Marseille. So hopefully we can pick some points up, particularly in the last two of those games, to secure our place at least in the playoff round in an attempt to defend the Champions League title that we won last season. Assuming nothing goes horrendously wrong, we should also have another Allianz Cup semi-final to come in this episode. And we just really need to keep the pressure up on Benfica and Porto in the league. Before we do get started, if you do enjoy the video, please like, comment, subscribe, and without further ado, let's get going. So far, December's been a good month. We began December with a trip to the San Siro to play Milan. It was a strange game in that for 3/4 of the game, neither team really created much. We managed to score a goal fairly early through Son. They came on strong in the second half, but we were able to hold on and hold out defensively. That's probably our lowest XG for a game this season, but we managed to come away with a vital 1-0 victory away from home in the Champions League. Then we're at home to AC Viseu, who had just inflicted Benfica's first defeat of the season on them. We struggled for chances in this game. We did have a goal disallowed just before the hour. Eventually, Tiago Tomas managed to get a goal in the 83rd minute for us. Both teams then suffered a couple of injuries afterwards, but we were able to hold on, got a 1-0 victory and a decent result in the end. Following that, we were at home to Taca de Portugal in the final group game of the Allianz Cup. We started okay, got a goal after 30 minutes from Son. They scored a penalty just before half time. Now at that point we were heading out of the competition. They had a better score in their other game in the group than us, so they were ahead of us on goal difference at that point. Eventually Harry Kane popped up just after the hour to score, and Arda Güler got one deep into injury time just to secure the victory and secure qualification for the semi-final. In the semi-final we've been drawn against Penafiel. The other semi-final is Braga against Benfica, because Braga finished top of the group that Porto were in. So hopefully that should be us into give us a really good chance of getting to yet another Allianz Cup final. Then we went away to Estoril in the Taca de Portugal, and we really turned the style on, particularly in the second half. Harry Kane and Tiago Tomas got a couple of goals fairly close together midway through the first half, and then we sort of turned on the style in the second half. Arda Güler got a goal, Harry Kane got a goal, which at that point, 4-0 up, we made a lot of changes and brought a lot of players off. Coppola, one of the players that came off the bench, scored to put us 5-0 up. They got a consolation goal, and then straight after the consolation goal, their player Bonker Innocent was not so innocent and got a red card for a 2-footed tackle in the midfield. And then in the most recent game, we beat Taca de Portugal 3-0 at home. First half, we didn't do an awful lot. Harry Kane got a goal right on half time. And then in the second half, further goals from Tiago Tomas and a penalty from Harry Kane. 3-0. At that point, we were pretty secure, and not an awful lot happened in the rest of the game after that. What it means as far as the league is concerned is that we are in second place ahead of Porto on goal difference, and we are only now, because of Benfica getting beaten by AC Viseu, we're only 2 points behind them. So hopefully we can go into the game against Vitória Guimarães to end the year on a high, get a good result away from home, and keep that pressure up on Benfica. We've made one change to the team for the trip to Vitória Guimarães. We've brought Goncalo Estes back in at right back. He had picked up an injury and been struggling for fitness, and we had been playing Horrendously there, who'd done a decent job. But Estes, obviously, is our first choice right back. He's back into the team for this game, and hopefully we can just continue where we were in the last couple of games. Oh my god. The winger gets in behind Esteves. The keeper just pushes the cross into the onrushing Ruwalt, who puts it in his own net. Nyanzu bring it forward. Ruwalt. Esugo. Folded on the left hand side. Can you get the ball in the box? No, we go all the way back to Nyanzu on the halfway line. Back to Balde. Esugo. Nyanzu going on that left hand side. Esugo now into Kane. Eventually, we work it into the box, and Arda Güler smashes it home. I mean, it took far too long to get it in there. Kane back to Santos, wide to Güler, and he just whips into that corner. Santos with the corner to the back post. Nyanzu up above the defender, heads down, and that's us in front 2-1 now. And the fact that it's 2-1 and they've not had a single shot is rather annoying as well. I mean, we are in front, but we certainly haven't played well. Nyanzu striding forward to Guillaume Santos, who's driving forward. Ball comes to Esteves on that right hand side and he gives it away. Nyanzu wins the header. Simovic to Esteves. Looking for Arda Güler. Was he onside? Pulls it back to Harry Kane, who smashes it home. And that's us 3-1 up. And hopefully that should be us relatively secure now in this game. Lovely ball down the line. Güler gets there, steps on it, pulls it back, and Harry Kane the keeper didn't even move. Free kick from Arda. And Ruwalt at the back post this time, and that's 4-1. Right, they've got a corner this time. Right, Nyanzu heads clear. They've got the ball on the edge of the box. Cuts inside. Did that take a deflection? Because if not, that's like the goalkeeper and the defender both seem to leave it to each other from that angle. Have a look. It comes out to Carlos, who cuts inside and hits it, and they both went for it, and it went straight between the two of them. So in the end, the 4-2 victory, certainly far from our best performance this season, but it's pleasing that even when we're not playing at our best, we can still score goals like that. We do need to be a bit better defensively than we were in that game, and by and large this season we have been a lot better defensively. And now we just need to keep pushing on in the league, put the pressure on Benfica and Porto at the top there, and we'll be back for the Allianz Cup semi-final against Penafiel. We're at the end of January, and it's been a pretty outstanding month so far. We've got one game left, which is the Allianz Cup semi-final against Penafiel. We have done a bit of business in January, so a couple of players have come in. Sol and Lemieux, we'd signed, or we'd agreed deals in the summer, but it had to wait till they became of age to be able to be transferred. We signed Ruben Alonso from Boca, really just as a player for the future, but we the intention was probably that he was going to get loaned out or he was going to play for the B team. But we've thrown him into some first team football, and he's come off the bench 4 times, twice in the Champions League. He's got 2 doubles in the Champions League since he's come off the bench. And he's probably going to stick around with the first team for the rest of the season. And then obviously once we've got a few players back off loan, we'll see what happens to him in the summer. We also signed Jack Arrowsmith from Stoke, because there was a minimum fee release clause in his contract that was just about to expire. So we signed him. The intention is that he will go out on loan potentially before the deadline. But obviously the deadline's tomorrow, so it's going to take a bit of quick work there. The first game after the Vitória Guimarães game was a game at home against Nacional, who were bottom of the league, and we absolutely hammered them. Got off to a great start. I mean, we were 7-0 up by half time. They kind of capitulated just before half time because we scored 44th, 45 plus 2, 45 plus 3. We then added another couple of goals in the second half, which allowed Arda Güler and Thiago Thomas to complete the hat tricks. Being up 7-0 at half time enabled us to take off Harry Kane and Son. What we're trying to do, particularly through January, where we've got quite a lot of games, is manage their minutes so that they're not playing every minute of every game. We then were at home to Portimonense in the Taca de Portugal quarter-final. And again, really comfortable victory. We were 3-0 up at half-time, added an extra couple of goals in the second half to win 5-0, to see us through to the semi-final, where we've been drawn against Maritimo. Based on the teams that are still in the competition, if we don't retain the Taca de Portugal this season, that would have to go down as a massive failure, because obviously we'd already beaten Benfica. Porto went out the round before the quarterfinal. So if we don't win the Taca de Portugal, I would really consider it a failure for the season. We were then at home to Red Star in the Champions League. Obviously we were in a pretty strong position, but we needed points just to secure a round of 16 place. We got off to a great start with a header from Nianzou. Güler and Balde added goals just before half-time, to give us a 3-0 lead at half-time. That again enabled us to take off Kane and Son and sort of manage their minutes. Ruben Alonso came on for his debut. He scored within 6 minutes of coming on, added another one, and then Anthony Rualt with a header just rounded the game off at 6-1. We then went away to Chavez in the league and again got off to a great start, 2-0 up after 14 minutes with goals from Son and Güler. And Thiago Thomas added a couple. Güler got another one just before full time. Really, he has been absolutely outstanding in recent weeks, scoring goals, creating chances, and really, really putting on a show from that right-hand side. We were then at home to Marseille in the final game of the league phase of the Champions League. Going into this round of games, we were sitting in 7th position, so we needed a win just to make sure that we were going to make it through to the knockout stage. We were 1-0 up at half time with a Tanguy Nianzou header from a Arda Güler free kick, and then Ruben Alonso came off the bench again, got 2 goals in 6 minutes, and Güler added a fourth for us just to really secure the victory. And then the most recent league game, we were away at Famalicão, who are doing quite well this season. I think they're up in 5th or 6th position in the league. And again, we got off to a quick start, 2-0 up after 18 minutes. They pulled a goal back just before half-time, but quickly after half-time, Korowas, who'd come on, was able to put us 3-1 up in front, and then they never really got themselves any further chances, and it was pretty comfortable in the end to run out 3-1 victors. So as far as the Champions League phase is concerned, we ended up finishing 5th with 18 points from our 8 games, 6 wins, just the 2 defeats. So at least we've missed the playoff round. That's 2 less games that we may have to play. And then we'll just see who we get in the knockout round, because some of the teams that finished between 9th and 24th, the likes of Chelsea, Barcelona, Atletico, Liverpool, Man United. So there's definitely some tough teams there that hopefully we can avoid, or hopefully they get knocked out in the playoff round. And then as far as the league is concerned, things have had a bit of a change about since the end of December. Benfica have gone on to lose 2 games. They had already lost 1 against AC Viseu. They've lost another one against Gil Vicente. And they are currently sat in 3rd. We're 3 points clear of them. We're a point clear of Porto, but we've got a game in hand on them. And we're currently on a win streak. We've won our last 13 games in the league, which is what's enabled us to really come from where we were after that Benfica game into being top of the table at the moment. Obviously, we've now got a semi-final. Hopefully, we can win that, get through to the final. But we do have some big games coming up in the league. As things are currently scheduled, our next league game is away at Benfica, and then we've got Porto before the end of February as well. So first thing is make sure we get the semi-final boxed off nice and early, and then we can sort of hopefully manage some minutes before that Benfica game in the league, and then we'll just crack on from there. So this is the side we've picked for the semi-final against Penafiel. Obviously, we need to have 2 Portuguese under-21 players in the starting lineup. So Coroas comes in to the starting lineup front instead of Thiago Tomas, and Armindo Correa has been called up from the B team, and he's going to come in and play on the left-hand side instead of Son. And hopefully we can get off to a good start, quick start, and then we can maybe stick Kane and Gula and a few others off to rest them for the Benfica game. So they're playing the ball around at the back. Can we press them and nick the ball off them? They've gone all the way back to the goalkeeper. Estevez wins the header, but then they've got it back. And they've gone long. Balde picks it up at left back. Uriwalt. Santos on to Kane. Ardagula looking for Carujas. Oh, and he's lifted it over the bar. Santos with a corner to the back post. Nianzu rises above the defender, heads home. And hopefully that should be that. The other thing is hopefully that forces them to come forward a bit and maybe opens up a bit of space for us to attack into as well. And there we go. I mean, we deserve the win. We should have been out of sight a lot earlier in that game. Slightly disappointing scoreline and performance, but we won and we're through to the final. And that's the end of this episode. Another great episode. We've won every game. We've really done well to come back from where we were. We're now top of the league. We've obviously made it to the round of 16. In the Champions League, we've got a semi-final of Taca de Portugal to come up, and we've got an Allianz Cup final, which is going to be against Benfica towards the end of April. We do have a really big February coming up. We've got 7 league games in February, as well as the first leg of the round of 16 in the Champions League and the first leg of the Taca de Portugal semi-final. So we've basically got a game every 4 days. No, back to 7, 9, like a game every 3 days throughout February. So it's going to be important to be able to manage the minutes and put in the performances. Going to have to rely on some of the younger players to step up and maybe start games so that Kane and Son can rest. But ultimately, all focus has got to be on the next league game away at Benfica. Obviously, having lost to Benfica at home earlier on in the season, 1-0, they have the head-to-head advantage at the moment. So we need to put in a performance, get a win, get that advantage scrubbed out, and extend our lead at the top of the table. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.